Well, you've heard where I stand. Where stands you? 08717 223344. That's the number to call me and tell me what you think about the great events of this week. Or text me on 81089, and you can text me a song suggestion that sums up this extraordinary week. And you can email me free, of course, through the website at talksport.co.uk. Now, Britain's on a collision course with the European Court of Human Rights after MPs overwhelmingly backed a parliamentary motion to continue denying prisoners the right to vote. The vote was extraordinarily wide, 234 votes to 22, around an all-party motion tabled by David Davis, a good egg, but a somewhat maverick figure today in the Conservative ranks, and the rancid Jack Straw. You'll remember him. He of the testosterone-fueled Pakistani youths, you'll recall, and the man who couldn't bring himself to talk to his constituents if they were wearing a piece of cloth over their mouths. Well, the two of them joined forces, and they won the day in the Parliament, but they will not win the day, of course, in the law, because the law is clear. We have to. It's a matter of law that we have to allow some prisoners to vote. But we've now batted it back to the European Court on Human Rights, and they'll be back with a fine, I have no doubt. So make your mind up. Is this issue that important to you that you want to pay hard-earned cash from the public purse to a fine, maybe even to the compensation of said prisoners who are being denied their lawful right to vote? Got to think through the consequences of these things. But I'm actually going to argue that the vote in the week was nothing actually to do with the prisoners and the voting. It was to do with Europe. It was a spasm. It was a spasm by the Europhobic, red-coated, union-jacked, florid-faced John Bulls who like to go to the Channel ports and shout boo at Johnny Foreigner. That's what it was all about. Now, West Ham have won. It's not something that's happened often this year. They have won the Olympic Park Legacy Company's vote to inherit the Olympic Stadium, defeating Tottenham Hotspur's bid, and by a unanimous vote, in fact. Clean Living David Gold, the West Ham co-owner, was delighted, and we'll be hearing from him later. Now, Sir Andrew Green and I don't often agree on the subject that we normally discuss in this show, although he's always a very welcome and excellent guest. But in another lifetime, before he started fretting about immigration figures with such, well, I think obsessive fervour, he was one of Britain's men in the Middle East. He was the head of the Middle East desk in the Foreign Office. He was the British ambassador in Saudi Arabia and in Syria, and he knows the Middle East very well. So I'm going to talk to him about what these great events in Egypt mean for the rest of the Arab world, and in particular what they mean for Western relations with the rest of the Arab world. So he's coming up too as a guest. You want to talk about any of these subjects, you need to call me 08717 223344.